When I was creating the solution for the challenge in the previous video, you remember I said something to the effect that I don't like to delete anything. I like to leave it all there because I might want to get back to it at some point in the future. That might be a little bit difficult to understand now, but you'll see that there's a method to this madness longer term. Admittedly, I have a lot of junk in here that I could get rid of. That's purely reference only, just to help me facilitate the data entry and the inserts and things of that nature. But things like the insert statements, those are things that I might want to preserve and execute in the future. Or if I have more complicated select statements that took me a while to craft, I may not want to just trash them, and I may not want to just copy and paste them into a notepad file. I might want to actually script those out so that I can rerun those scripts in the future. So to do this, if I already have a query window open, I can just merely hit the save button. Now notice that, and I mentioned this before, that at this point I've made changes inside this window, but I've not saved those changes to disk. You can see that indicated with a little asterisk next to the connection, and if I hover over you can see the connection is for that first database in my SQL Express instance on my local desktop. All right. So if I want to save this into a .sql file, I'm just going to hit the little save icon, and then I can give this any name I want. It's going to default want to put it in the documents / SQL Server Management Studio. I like putting everything on my desktop just to begin with, and then I can move it from there when I'm ready to put it somewhere. But here we're going to call this SQL 2016-014 since this is video 14, and I'm going to save that to my desktop. And now let's go ahead and close that down. Yep. Sure. All right, you can see that on my desktop. Here's the file, and I can double click it, and it's going to say, hey, how do you want to open up this file? I can't move the recording area, but I can choose. Here, let me go ahead and SQL Server Management Studio, unfortunately, is off the recording area off at the top, but I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and it will open it up here. I can even shut it down and then double click and open it up, and here it is. It's open. All right, pretty cool. But there's something even neater, cooler than that. I can actually script out this entire database by right-clicking and selecting Tasks, Generate Scripts. This will open up the Generate and Publish Scripts dialog. It's a little too large to fit on screen, but I'm going to focus on the lower portion of this. And click the Next button. I want to script the entire database and all database objects. So I could just select individual tables or individual views, stored procedures, permissions, roles. If I had those, I don't. I want to script the entire database. Furthermore, I want to change the script here, and I might actually just call this first database, right? And I might change where I save it. I don't like putting things in my documents folder. I'm kind of weird. I like putting things here on the desktop. So let's call this first database.sql. Save it. All right, so now it's putting in the correct spot. I'm going to click the next button. And let's see. I don't think I got all the... Yes, I need to go back and click the advanced button because there's one option I need to change here. And that is, at this point, the only thing that will be scripted out is the schema. When it uses the term schema, it means the definition of the database, the table, the columns, the column properties like their data type, whether they're nullable or not, and even whether it's an identity column or one of the row GUIDs. But I want, in this case, the schema and the data. This will actually script out insert statements that will recreate all the data that we created in the challenge previously. Okay, so we've got to make sure to change types of data to script to both schema and data. Click OK. Now we can click Next. Now we can click Next, and you can see it goes fairly quickly through this. I'm going to go ahead and click Finish. I'm going to minimize SQL Server Management Studio, and now you can see I have first database.sql. Yes, okay, so without it open, I'm going to just double click it, and now it opens it up here, and this is all generated by SQL Server. Admittedly, there's a lot of stuff in here that I don't want to spend the time to talk about it. Heck, there's stuff in here I don't completely understand myself, except for the fact that these are all configuration options that are being set on the database. Then we're going to start creating the tables. Here's the create table, transact SQL code to create the authors table with all the columns, with the constraints, and with the other options that we set. Here is where we created the books. Here's where we created the publishers table. And then here are all the insert statements. We're inserting authors, and then inserting publishers, and then inserting individual books. All right. And so that's what gets scripted out. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to change this from first database to second database. We're going to create a second database that'll be identical to the first one. All we got to do, I'm going to hit copy, Control C, and then Control H. I'm going to find everywhere where it says first database, and I'm going to create a new database called second database. All right, and I'm just going to say go ahead and replace all. It replaced it in 43 places. And then what I want to do is execute this script. And let's see, it doesn't like this. It's because we didn't create the file. It doesn't have that file created yet. So what we can do, and this is real simple, let's just get rid of all this other stuff here. I think we get it down to just that. Let's try that. Okay, and it worked. So by removing some of those specific options about exactly where we want to put this file, it was able to handle it. So now if we take a look in our File Explorer, and let's go to our C drive and take a look in first database. Wait a second, where'd those files go? Well, they're not there. It put them in the default directory because we didn't specify the file name to create. All right, so if I right-click on the second database and go down to Properties, under Files, let's see, let's scroll over here to the right. So it's under Program Files / MS SQL Server. All right, so let's open this back up. Program Files, MS SQL Server. Let's see what else we got here. MS SQL 2013 Express, MS SQL Data, and it says you don't have permissions to access this, but I am logged in as the administrator, so it's just really a warning at this point. You can see that here is the second database.mdf and the second database _log.ldf. All right, so there are our files. And if we were to, let's just close this down, click No, and create a new query and do change that, make sure that second database is selected here, and then select star from authors, we should see our 5 authors. Okay, so now we have a first database and a second database that are essentially clones of each other. Okay, so that's how we can save scripts or generate scripts that we can then rerun in order to get back to SQL statements that we've written, or to actually script out and then recreate given database objects on a different instance of SQL Server. And that's probably the preferred way to distribute your schema for your database as well as your data, is through scripts and not through other mechanisms that are available, like backups and things of that nature. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop now, and we're going to learn about the where clause in the next video. We'll see you there. Thanks.